Yeah, indeed. We've got an amazing show, so it's going to get you angry, but you don't want to move a muscle, you don't want to miss any of it. Now, police have admitted they are not prepared for a repeat of last summer's protests.
Yes, officers are deployed to keep peace outside a four-star hotel in London. That's reportedly preparing to welcome asylum seekers.
So is this the start of a summer of unrest? According to many of your papers today, it is. And is it really appropriate for Parliament to be, getting off on summer recess today?
So you don't think it's appropriate, Dawn?
Well,
you think they should be here leading the country, maybe, I don't know, leading by example?
Well, I mean, I don't want anyone to particularly follow the example many of them are setting at the moment. However, everyone needs a holiday. I get that, right? OK, you know, if you have present company accepted, obviously. If you have a holiday, you come back fully charged up. I understand that. But when you have got on the front page of the Telegraph today, there you go, police not ready for summer of unrest. If you are supposedly running the country, how can you be packing your suitcase, packing your swimming cosy and going, right, yeah, whatever, I'll deal with that when I get back?
So what would you like them to do?
I would like them to do something about the chaos that we seem to be having. Look, we've had...
How does that manifest? What would you like them to do? Get up in the Commons and give a rousing speech, or what would you like them to do?
Start tackling the problems. Actually, not talking about it.
But they're not.
Not talking about it. No, they're not. That's what I want them to do. I want them to stop just talking about it and start some action. We've had Angela Rayner on the left warning about it. We've had Nigel Farage on the right warning about it. We had the Police Federation today warning about the summer. And you know what, Ben? The 27th of July, Sunday, it's 1 year exactly from the Southport riots.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that's interesting.
And where are we? Are we any better?
Sunday is the day of the big protest down in Epping, where lots of groups are going to be coming head-to-head because of the situation at the Migrant Hotel there, the allegations that a migrant assaulted a young schoolgirl.
Yeah. And this is not to encourage this, by the way. This is just reflecting what people are saying to us, what you are saying to us. People are angry. People, you know, you're not far right. You're not an agitator. You are genuinely concerned for your safety in your local towns and villages. But you don't feel you are being listened to at the moment. Well, you're going to be listened to even less over the summer holiday because they won't be here.
See, I'm slightly different. I don't really care if MPs are here or not because I think I'm a bit further down the line than you, where I just have no faith in them to do anything about it anyway. We've seen that.
We have to have faith,
very little's being done about any of this. So
we have to have
if they want to go on holiday, no surprise. I mean, nothing's going to change.
But we have to have faith in somebody, surely.
I have faith in the good people of this country to stick together during hard times with hope for a better future, but I don't rely on the state for that. Because so far the state has done the complete opposite.
Well, yeah, I agree, but maybe it's time that they actually, you know, this government came in promising change, and they were going to look after the working people.
You believe them?
I want them to at least have a go at it. That's what they promised us. That's what they're there to do.
Well, I guess they'd argue they are having a crack at it, but a little bit lacklustre is the report card thus far. Should we get the thoughts of former Scotland Yard detective Mike Neville now on this? Mike, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Just talking specifically about riots and tinderbox atmospheres, are the police equipped to deal with this kind of thing?
Well, the police are equipped to deal with it in the sense that they've got a large number of what they call level 1 public order officers. In the Met, they call the Territorial Support Group, and in other forces, they'll be called something very similar. But there's only a finite number of these people, and if there's one particular incident where there's a riot in London, Manchester or Birmingham, they can all help each other. It's when there's riots everywhere that we've seen, like in 2011, we saw after Southport, that there's a real issue because there's not enough level 1 officers. Then they have to pull in what they call level 2 officers, who are your normal street bobbies who are just trained in extra public order duties. But once they're pulled in, that means they're not patrolling the streets looking for robbers and burglars and thieves and rapists. And so people they're left high and dry. Communities don't have the police support, and we've got extra pressure from the Home Office, who have promised there'll be all these hotspot patrols in these town and city centres where there is begging, shoplifting, thieving, sorts of bad things going on. So you've got all these pressures, so there is simply not enough police officers to go round to do all the duties they're expected to do.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private internet access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private internet access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Official Home Office is released by the official figures released by the Home Office show that the number of the bobbies on the beat has fallen to a record low. Labour have promised to put 3,000 more bobbies on the beat by next spring. They didn't quite go into the detail of how they were going to do that. Will that solve the problem though, Mike? Is that enough?
It won't solve the problem. There isn't enough officers on the street to deal with the rise in crime. We're forever told that crime is falling. What in reality is happening is that crime's increasing, but less people are reporting it because they simply have no confidence in the police. And if they're poor, they don't have insurance, so they don't bother. They don't need a crime reference number. And the politicians, as you say, they've allowed this to go on, both Conservatives and Labour, reducing officers. And also what you have as well is officers. What you recruit is a brand new officer who's got very, very little experience. What they've lost are those experienced officers who can diffuse situations, who know to deal with the public. And so you've got a real crisis in policing. And in addition to this, you've got a real crisis in confidence in policing. British policing used to be the most trusted in the world. There was everybody was seen as decent, Dixon and Dock Green, people trusted the police. Foreigners wanted their police to be like our police. And now people see things like Essex and they question, I'm a working person. I do my job. I really work hard. I really don't want a load of undocumented young men next to my daughter's secondary school, but the police don't seem to be on my side. And that really impacts on the ability to police the public as well.
Mike, talking of Essex, which you mentioned there, the situation in Epping, there have been calls for the Chief Constable of Essex Police to resign over the way the situation has been handled there. Do you think he should?
I think he should, yes. I think it's unprecedented what we saw, that people are being escorted to and from. Now, there's a big debate whether vans used, were they not used. But the facts are the police's job is to keep the peace. It was said, we have a duty, the Assistant Chief Constable said, we have a duty to facilitate assembly. Well, I can't find that anywhere. I was never taught that in the police. What you're taught is your duty is to keep the king's peace. So there's two separate sides. You keep them apart. Why march them in? And then we're told if they were bussed out, they were bussed out because there was danger. Well, you only have to watch the video, and it looked like a load of school kids being loaded onto minibuses. If there was danger, you'd expect people there throwing rocks and petrol bombs and all sorts of other stuff. Yeah. But those people suddenly didn't exist. And what this sets in the mind of people is this two-tier policing. The people get into their head that the police are not on my side. And I just think generally, Don, if you look at it, you've got these migrants being put up in top quality hotels in central London that most people couldn't afford. They see people gambling, as you said, on the money they're given. They see the police escorting them. Yeah. You see all these things you see, and people, I think the public think they're being laughed at, not by the police in particular, but by the entire establishment.
Yep, the state. Mike, we've run out of time, but just before I let you go, just in a few words, what do the police do well in this day and age, do you think? What are they good at?
They do terrorism, counter-terrorism and murder inquiries very well.
Yep. Yeah, great. Good to hear. Thank you very much, Mike. Have a good morning. Thanks for your company.
Strong words indeed. OK, let's get more analysis now with GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White. Mark, good to see you. I always say, Mark, good to see you, but you never have good news for us.
Well, what do you want to hear?
Puppies, Sammy...
I've got two lovely cats in the house.
OK, beautiful. Kittens will do.
Oscar and Leo.
Should we talk about migrants?
I'll show you pictures sometime.
Thank you very much. Asylum seekers gambling away taxpayers' cash. Police ready for summer of unrest. Not good reading on the front page of the papers.
No, we should say with regard to police not ready for a summer of unrest, that's not the police that are saying that. That's the Police Federation,
yeah.
which is effectively the rank and file union. So the police... service and police chiefs themselves will obviously accentuate the... Well, of course, but officially they will accentuate the positive that they are able to deal with whatever eventuality, that they have mutual aid, which is where one force or multiple forces can come to the aid of another. But listen, there's no doubt, I think, that the Federation are right, that there are... numbers in policing at the moment that are falling. Official figures have shown that as well. There is significant issues around certain crimes that the police are struggling to get on top of. There's great calls and demands, quite rightly, for the police to be concentrating on crimes that people really want to see action on, such as knife crime, other violent robberies, the likes of shoplifting, burglaries, all of the above.
One rape every hour in London?
That people want investigated, but when you've got the potential for disorder, or even at the very least protests that have to be managed, that takes away resources from an ability to go and respond and deal with those other issues.
What's the fallout been since that press conference yesterday in Essex with the Chief Constable?
Well, I thought it was an extraordinary press conference. I really do. You know, BJ Harrington, the Chief Constable, spoke for a long time, but he absolutely didn't say anything of any consequence as far as the command decisions that were taken that day. And that's the issue. People are getting distracted about whether, you know, this group was escorted by a group of officers or not. That's routine. You see that at football matches. Opposing fans, you'll get cordons of police around them, taking them to different locations. You see that with protests. Yeah. That's not the issue. The issue is why a commander in charge of that operation decided it was a good idea to take one group of protesters, i.e. these far-left agitators, you know, from Socialist Worker, Stand Up to Racism, the usual group that have their pre-made placards, their covered faces, whose only reason for attending is to shout at the other side, to call them Nazi scum and racist and whatever, to up the ante and really stoke the tensions of what was already a volatile and angry protest outside the Bell Hotel in Epping. What command decision was taken, or what commander thought it was a good idea to lead this other group of protesters right into the heart of that? You can do that. The Metropolitan Police will often have rival groups of protesters within earshot of each other, but only if they know they've got enough resources to keep the two sides apart. Clearly, Essex Police didn't have enough resources. They brought this other group in and then embarrassingly had to scramble to take them out in vans on the hurry-up out of there to keep them away from danger. They should never have been allowed so close to the other protesters in the first place, I would say.
Yeah, that's the moments on screen now, that footage that you revealed yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, I'm not sure what's more concerning, this footage or the performance of BJ Harrington at the presser yesterday. I don't want to lay into the guy, but he is the highest authority at Essex Police, and to say that press conference was lacking is an understatement. Just own the decision. Even if the public think it's the wrong decision.
Well, exactly.
Explain yourself with some authority.
If you're gonna stand up there and you're gonna talk for as long as he did, as you say, the head of that police force, then don't say no comment.
Yeah.
You know, of course he's got something to say, surely, on the command decisions of his subordinates.
Yeah, absolutely. You're one.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you very much, as always.
Great stuff.